Next up here on the Fantasy Flex is our Elite Entry segment, where I am going to dive into the PrizePicks app to build some entries. I'm going to identify some markets I like, you build your own PrizePicks entries, and all of us have a little fun and make some money. So today I'm going to look at 4 Week 7 quarterback plays on PrizePicks. Can you believe it is already Week 7? It is going to be a bye NATO, by the way, for fantasy, but let us just jump in to look at some of the guys that are playing this week. So the first play I like is Justin Fields over 210.5 passing yards on the road in Tampa Bay. This would be a career high for Justin Fields, but if it's going to happen for Fields, it's gotta be this game. The Bucs pass defense is super banged up and has given up a ton of yards and points. They rank 6th worst in the NFL in yards per game. And if the Bears are smart, which, hey, I'm not sure if they are, but if they are smart, they're going to abandon the run and chuck it like 40 plus times. I think that is the only way that they're going to stay within like 2 touchdowns of the Buccaneers. And, we've seen coaches like Bill Belichick, and I'm certainly not comparing Bill Belichick and Matt Nagy, but we've seen other coaches have success or at least a little bit of a success when they just completely abandon the run. So I'm hoping to see Justin Fields sort of air it out, if only for my shares in Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney. But yes, I love him to go over 210.5 passing yards just based on matchup alone. The next one I like is Mac Jones under 240.5 passing yards at home versus the Jets. So we hit the Mac Jones under last week. The Jets have not done too much right this year. They are on a 1-game win streak, but they have managed to keep their games mostly losses, low scoring. These 2 teams did meet first earlier in the year. The game ended 25-6 in favor of the Patriots, and I could honestly see this being another 30-point game. Both of these offenses haven't shown tons of life. I know the Patriots kind of put up a number of points last week against the Cowboys. I mean, that was an overtime game, but certainly didn't look that exciting. Jones passed for just 186 yards in the team's last meeting with 0 touchdowns, and he has only passed for at least 240 yards 3 times this year. So I think there's a good chance that this game is just really low scoring and maybe leans a little bit more on the run, and he goes under there. I also like Zach Wilson on the other side of the ball to hit the over-under for passing yards is 225. This is the second time, like I said, that these teams have met. The first time was an absolute nightmare for Zach Wilson. I don't know if you remember that game. Bill Belichick, who is just like rookie quarterback kryptonite, completely shut down Wilson and held him to 210 yards, 0 touchdowns. Wilson also made the Pats defense look like the 85 Bears with 4 interceptions. I expect this to be another difficult day for the rookie in Foxborough, so I like him to go under the 225.5. And then finally, I like Jameis Winston to go over 215.5 passing yards on the road in Seattle. After starting slow from a passing volume standpoint, he's definitely turned it around of late. It's a far cry from the 50 passing attempts, 300 passing yard games that we were used to seeing in 2019 from Jameis, but he would have hit the over in this number in each of the last 2 games that he played. He's going to be well rested coming off of the Saints week 6 bye. By the way, he looked like he had some great chemistry with Marquez Callaway, who was kind of like the preseason phenom. I think he should be able to rack up a decent amount of yardage against Seattle's Swiss cheese secondary, say that 5 times fast, which is giving up the 5th most passing yards per game at 292.3, which is 1 spot worse than the Bucs. So they have been absolutely terrible against the pass. I like him to go over. All right, so that is our elite entry today, going with Justin Fields over 210.5 passing yards on the road in Tampa Bay, Mac Jones under 240.5 passing yards at home versus the Jets, Zach Wilson under 225.5 passing yards on the road versus the Patriots, and Jameis Winston over 215.5 passing yards on the road in Seattle. As a reminder, you can mix and match fantasy points and player props to make your lineups super spicy. Also, PrizePicks markets move, so you will want to be nimble to lock in the best numbers and make your picks as soon as possible. If you have not created a PrizePicks account, please check out the link in our episode description because PrizePicks has a special offer for Fantasy Flex listeners. They will match your first deposit up to $100. Just click the link in our episode description or visit prizepicks.com and use promo code ACTION10.